Morning, everybody. Mike, hello, Mike. Hello, Steve.
Hello. How are you this morning?
I am kind of hot. It's noon and warm here.
It looks beautiful where you're at there.
The sun's streaming in. You have a lovely brick wall behind you. That looks really nice.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
Our friend, for those of you tuning in remotely and wherever you are, our friend Shardy B is on the job site somewhere, a couple job sites, in his truck trying to call in. So we might have some visits from our friend Steve. We might not. Otherwise, it's just going to be me and just Mike, as it says there.
Yeah, and producer Steve's in the background there. Thanks a lot, Steve, for helping us get this going again. Dave, producer Dave.
Yes, thank you, David, because,
Dave.
The last couple of weeks, you guys have seen how capable we are without David being here.
Yeah.
Although Mike is very capable. Mike put out a video this week we'll talk about later. He can get that stuff done.
Sure. We can talk about that.
Yeah, I found it when I do it by myself. When I just do a stream, I can figure that out. But balancing multiple people, windows, cameras, audio, and etc. is a real talent. And
there are a lot of moving parts to this, and David pulls it off flawlessly. It seems like every time. I'm so impressed.
Walking and chewing gum, definitely, right?
Yeah. What's on your mind this week, Jeff?
Well, I got a few things to talk about. We've been, we are in the summer. We are in the summer doldrums holiday, July 4th, July 1st for the Canadians. I don't know what else happens. That's it, right?
Yeah. But
the Discords can be slow. The Bitcoin can be doing Bitcoin. The network can be doing network. The big thing to talk about is it's the 1.83 fork for everybody with running a SCP EXA license that's not a factory hardware EXA. Those will update themselves. But if you are running either a basic or a full install of SCP software and you are hosting, you need to update. We did a fork a while ago, right? We did a fork that brought in S11 miners, or bought out the S11 miners.
Right.
And that goes to Mike's video with his basement full of miners. And now we have to do a cleanup fork, because one of the things that happens is, those miners are still trying to, at times, ping the network. That can slow things down. We need to clean up. We need to basically say, we don't even talk to you anymore. It's a breakup. So we broke up on the last fork with the miners, and this fork, we're like changing the logs. So they're not showing up.
So I was curious about the purpose for it. So it's really to prohibit the influences that still might exist.
Yeah. Hey, David, if you can pop up my screen share here. In the announcement post, I don't know if you guys can, if that's blurry or not, or if I make it a little bit bigger. So hard fork to do cleanup issues related to post-fork mining and nodes attempting to connect to peers not on the main chain. Right. If you have a node that you still think is there, but hasn't been forked away, you're maybe wasting your time, wasting block space, wasting mining energy. As it says, mandatory update must be updated by block 24/7/900, which is coming up. I think it's less than a week. Doesn't matter. Don't delay. Update today. That's the lesson there. So sleeping on it's not going to get you anything other than heartache, and you're going to make poor Sparky's life worse. You're going to lose your contracts. You're going to have to delete your consensus. You're going to have to start all over again. So. There was some people who are away on vacation for a month and didn't know this ahead of time. There's some discussion. We got to have some fallback. You got to have access. You have to have SSH set up or a VPN set up. It's like having a pet. It's a business. It's like
for a lot of us that purchased the EXA miners, we back in the day, and I'm not sure if that's deal still exists, but we got free licenses when we purchased the EXA miners, and so we set up DIY units.
Yeah,
a lot of us did, and that's how I got mine. And so it's really nice to have the EXA, the factory EXA that just updates itself. That's the beautiful feature of that. It really is.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, it has literally been set. I have not had to touch. I bought 3, and I have not had to touch a single one of them for any reason.
You push that rebate button to get the SPF, and that was
Did
it.
do that. Did do that. Yeah.
But everybody, please, there's on the sepride.me page, there are links. It's doing your full is incredibly easy. You stop it, you remove it, you start it again. It takes 30 seconds, even if you type it into Linux. Yeah, that's the news. Back to what you were saying, Mike, about getting those free licenses. They don't give out free licenses anymore.
No, I don't.
There on the screen. There was a little quirky upgrade thing wherein they pushed all the basics to upgrade, but if you got a free one, you maybe didn't see the purpose in refunding your rebates. You didn't get a rebate, so why would you SPF? It's just you got time. But if you are in that situation and you have upgraded, you can still upgrade on a rebate. Anyways, back to summer in the Bitcoins. We got a little bit of sitting in these doldrums, but if you think about it, if you look at it, 31.6 is that's the 2023 high. So we may feel like we're moving sideways here. This is an 8-hour chart. Let's go to the 1-day chart. We may feel like we're not going anywhere. We're still waiting on these ETF newses. Everybody else who had an ETF in all these big funds have a few of them have resubmitted with some new wording. One of the words that seems to be interesting is that people are using Coinbase as their overseer. Back to the ETF concern, briefly is that the market's a fucking shit show. It's a wild west. Anybody can pump it. Anybody can crush it. It doesn't work that way in the stock market. And no one knows who owns Bitcoin, right? No one knows who owns 1 billion Bitcoin somewhere else, and you can't track them down, and you can't find out what their motives are. With stocks, you can do that. So the SEC is rightfully concerned about manipulation, and seems like Coinbase, who is publicly traded, accredited banking company, and with the SEC is agreeing or offering, or it hasn't really been explained completely, but it
doesn't seem extremely clear to me. No,
and I'm sure that it's going to be what the SEC wants in the end, right? It's not going to be Coinbase says, "Hey, I'll show you what all the trades are." It's more like the SEC is going to say, "We need access to your book. We need to know where these come from," and that will get negotiated, and that's great.
Right.
Another thing, let's see. I didn't have a chart for it because I really don't watch it or care, but the storage price has really had a little excitement. Something happened. We were a month ago they were at 22 cents. This is against Tether. I don't care. A month ago they were at 22 cents, and they hit 60. They went 300%.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it?
They're back down to 34. I'm not
was
saying
that? We any idea?
It's interest in storage coins. It's interest in the market. It's proof that the excitement is there. This was a tweet that came out June 16th, same time as the bottom, right? That was the bottom, and then it went up. Jeffrey Kratz is the vice president of worldwide public sector channels and alliances at AWS. This is the guy that's in charge of partnerships. and his tweet was about this partner summit that they held.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got 3 bullet points there, right? Think about being productive is who is in need of services. You know, we talk about this in the Discord. Like, what are you going to use our network for? Amazon's having the exact same conversation.
Yeah,
Think about
it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's happening.
But the bullet point number 2, we are still early. If Amazon, who is created this segment, right? Amazon created this segment. It was their number 1 grossing business, and they say that we're early. They mean this data is going to go hockey stick crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their model is engage tech teams and help customers get to production. They're saying to partners, hey, guess what? There's money to be made in between here. And that's the exact same thing that applies to our partner program, right?
Right. Absolutely.
You know, and they're all about, you know, long-term strategy with Intel. Like, these guys are not, they're not a bunch of jokers like me and my friends. This is business, right?
Yeah.
Like, just sit with it and put your head around it. You know, we haven't really talked about this for a bit, Mike, but I've been working on this ebook idea.
Oh yeah, I'm curious to hear a little bit about that. You're going to tease us a little bit with your.
Well, yes. I mean, I've been working in as a slide deck.
Yeah.
To start with it, and it's like the more that I sit and I hold one facet. So the subject is going to be the XNS ecosystem, the flywheel. As you know, as we put more data on the network, then more data goes onto nodes, and as we put up more nodes, then more people know about it, and you know, it grows and grows and grows.
Yeah.
And there's too much information, so I'm going way deeper than I intended in a slide deck, and then I'm going to work on cropping it back down. But it's going to give us more, the information. It's the same thing, right? Point being, they're looking at this and they're saying, hey, AWS and Oracle and Microsoft and IBM, and they're saying, hey, look at all this opportunity. But they're only giving you the one opportunity. They're only giving you the ability to bill your customers and use Amazon, right? Or build, of course, build new things. Amazon's got things, compute and everything's like much bigger. We know that. But the core of the data storage is going to be object storage, and
that will be the center. The center of all of it will be object.
Right. Processing is going to be huge, but that's a whole different animal, right? That's computer power, not hardware, not storage.
Yep.
Anyways, that's the ebook fitting in there. It's coming. It's interesting to see, the huge players, the daddy, right? Who's the bigger daddy than Bezos, right? He made this space. So we are still early. We're even earlier because now we have things to catch up on. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is I have a dumb contest. That's
cool. It's an interesting setup you've got there. Talk to us about that.
So initially I was calling it a rug, a community rug, as for fun. I'm now calling it a slow SPF auction. Basically, we created a wallet, and it's a high bid situation. If you want to be the high bidder, you got to outbid the last guy by at least one SCP, and you can max 100 SCP. When the new bid is set, you have 144 blocks, which is approximately 24 hours, because we got 10 blocks, 10-minute blocks, 6 blocks an hour, yada yada yada. So you take a bid, and right now the high bid is 216. Let's see what it's. I think that's it. Yeah, 216 is our high bid. So the next person can bid 217, and they'll reset the timer on 24 blocks. See, this one was done at 7:03 my time. I'm pretty sure it shows a local time on these things. So that means you got 16, 18 math hours. I don't know. If no one bids 217, then the address that sent 216 is going. I'm going to send that address 216 SPF.
It sounds really. It sounds fun.
So someone can come in at the last minute and bid 217 and reset the clock and do it again. If and when the total hits, the high bid hits 1,000, I'm going to refund everybody under 1,000 their SCP, except for the high bidder. You know, I'm going to refund everybody's coins because I'm not trying to make any money on this. I'm trying to engage. We had Jordy and Andy had a fun bag builder game last month. It was enjoyable in its engagement. I think they got over 1 million coins purchased on Trade Ogre, which is fantastic.
That's wild.
But now, and then everyone's going to win their SPF bonuses. But now everybody has to hold their coins for 6 months, which is great because market will go up, coins are held. But now we're sitting in this dead spot of no more game. So let's make a new game.
Yeah,
so
I think it's a good idea. I'm anxious to get involved in that. I think I'm going to participate. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So literally, you can throw a couple coins in, bing, done.
Where do you have the information for that?
So we were talking about it on the SCP Discord. It's in the SPF SCP channel. It was in we started in the open discussion. Part of the fun is how unorganized it is. If you have any questions, ask. So at the end of this, when this 144 blocks runs out, I'll do a payout, and we can start again. We can start again at 1 SCP, and we can go.
So I think what our viewers could do is they could go to the description section of this video and they could pick up a link to that Discord thread probably.
Oh man, Mike, you are so organized with this stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
That would work really well. Just go to the description section and of this episode and click on that link, and that'll take you right to where you need to know to learn more about this.
We can also we'll put a link to the wallet page. So the wallet page is on the SCP Explorer, like it shows that address. And this is where you can see the live total. 216 is the height, is the high bid.
Yep.
So as that updates, we can keep on seeing things. Don't bid less than 1 and don't bid more than 100 because your coins will be forfeited. Somebody bid 1,000 thinking they were being funny, sent back their 900 coins because there's no game here. Because I don't want someone to just go, well, throw a big fuck you bid in and put 10,000 SCP in there.
Yeah.
Because then they're just turning it into a
then it just becomes
sales faucet, right?
An exercise of nothing, right? So
yeah, it's not a game. So I mean, that wouldn't make it a game.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing I want to talk about here is back to that Amazon network. David, can you go back to the screen, just the cameras again? I want to show us.
Well, that's a cool little thing that you got going set up there. That's pretty neat.
This is what I bought on Amazon. This is I'm not judging it. Let's not make this a judgment. This is in a very affordable, low budget, quick shipping, very plastic, Wi-Fi enabled webcam.
It was not expensive.
No, it was like less than $20.
Yeah.
And I bought the cheap one on purpose because I wanted to see what it would do. WAN's View is the manufacturer. I mean, listen, the setup was pretty damn easy. They have a Android app that worked really well. You log in, you create your account, you share your Wi-Fi from your phone, like you let it know your Wi-Fi. And
so are you plugging that right into your phone?
No. It's not like you use the app. It's not. It's plugged into the wall for power.
It's plugged right into your. Okay, gotcha. It's going Wi-Fi.
This has a USB for power. That's it.
Okay.
But so you create an account on your app, and it gives you a it pops a QR code up on your phone that then it says to hold in front of the camera. So you use the camera to scan its own QR code, and it's connected. So it works really nice on my phone. There's a Mac app that was really garbage. So I'm figuring this out. But this is on purpose. This is a raw attempt at building a open source camera network, low cost, that you can push to your relayer and back up and access remotely. Not using a proprietary software, not paying, those, like back to Amazon, they have Ring cameras are $100 each and they charge you $10 a month to access, and they ping your phone. Sure, you get software, you get all this stuff, but you're leaving the business opportunity on the table. So you buy 10 of these for $20 each, or whatever the package is. You find a person that needs web cameras for their business, cameras for their home, cameras for their neighborhood, cameras for their building.
Mm-hmm.
You set up a relayer, and then you find some software. All right, David, can you go back to a screen share here for us? We were just Googling this morning. Literally, I opened this box this morning. I plugged it in. I made it work in 20 minutes. So I found this one, Zone Minder. Just anyone. This is literally one Google. Haven't messed with it. If people have other ideas, leave them in the comments. I'd love to know more. This one is a, like say, home security, theft prevention, free and open source, works with a huge list of cameras. So you run this on your Linux box that also runs your relayer. You back up your files directly to the cloud. You're feeding that flywheel.
Yeah. What have you just done? You've just created it's a business case, really.
Right. So now you take this to a small business. You say, listen, I'll give you 10 cameras. I'll stick this NUC in the back room. It's going to run this open source software. It's going to run the relayer. I'm going to charge you $100 a month, or I'll charge you $100 a month plus data, or whatever it is. And there's the revenue stream. Now you do 2 of those. Now you do 10 of those. Right.
And they have these folks have access to their video files whenever they want.
And they're not paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for their cloud and all that stuff. They have access to it. So looking on this thing, Zone Minder, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to put it on my Linux box later. We'll look at that again. So download Zone Minder. Look, it's got all your Ubuntu, Red Hat, Debian. It's got the open source. It's got look at that, a mobile app on Android, right? And then Windows. Oh, cool, Windows. Oh, Zone Minder does not run on any, and is incompatible with all versions of Windows. We have no plans to support Windows. But right there, you can run it under you run it in a VM. But this was just like a quick search. Like I was looking for Mac software. So the camera, the WensView, they make a Mac app. And it was just garbage. Like the screen was half green. They couldn't move the camera, but that's fine. It was the free one. There's a bunch on the Mac App Store for $3.99. There's a bunch that have a $50 use license. But this business opportunity is just sitting there, right? Cameras are everywhere, and we always talk about video being one of the big data drivers.
Yeah.
That'll
be big. Video will be big.
I mean, videos and video cameras. Think about everywhere you see a video camera, every hallway in every apartment building, every business, and those things are all going somewhere.
Yeah.
Either they're going locally for security, and they're getting backed up, and they're getting recorded, and they're getting accumulated. And then what happens? Do they delete them after 90 days? Do they have to retain them for a year? Do they have to retain them for 5 years? Everybody's got security practices. And this is just a glaring opportunity.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I got one more thing that I want to show. I forgot about it. We had a talk in the main channel a while ago about 360 videos about backing up panoramic panospheres, right? So a user who actually said he watches the show, Wesley88 is his name. Hi, Wesley, if you're out there. Hope you don't mind me using your video. So Wesley88, it looks like he's based in Europe. He says that one of his jobs is doing drone photos for construction sites, right?
Oh, sweet.
And so he does these drone photos and he shares them. And he used some off-the-shelf website that would let you upload your panoramas. Then you'd share a link, and then people could, view them. But this software limited him to like 30 gigs a year, even with the paid plan. And like,
right.
So we were talking about how you could replicate that, beat that on using the XNS Cloud. And I went out and I found a piece of software, just dug around for a bit. I found a piece of software called Pano2V. The software is 400 euros. I'm not buying it, but you gave me a free trial. So you can see the video here, right?
Right.
So, it's a drone camera. This is coming, if you look at the URL, this is coming off of my relayer. This is a 360 panoramic coming off of my relayer. Because look, this is just sitting, coming off the cloud right now.
Oh, wow.
And, look at this. Like, this was created. Wesley created this video. And there's some guy named Alara got his tag on this here floating bridge. It looks like they're building a bridge. That's what my guess is. It looks like a span going into place. Here's the lead up. Maybe it's a tunnel.
I don't know. Maybe could be a boat launch. I don't know what that is, but
I mean, like there's expressways that just end here, right? So I assume that they're going to connect to something.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably what that is. Looks like the entrance to a tunnel.
Yeah, I guess maybe it is a tunnel.
I don't know. Well, who knows? But regardless, it's big business, right?
Right. So here's Wesley. Wesley has some drones. He flies them over construction sites as a business. You guys for updating the construction crew. What's happening? How's this going?
Yeah.
So, my point being, there are so many ideas.
Yeah,
I messed with this for like an hour. I tried a first software that sucked. I tried a second software that gave me the trial. You see it's got these watermarks all over it.
Yeah.
But there it is, sitting in the cloud.
It's a whole. There's a whole thing with agricultural too. They're flying drones over crops out in the middle of wherever, checking on the status of their crops, and it's the same business models that you see here.
And what's it do? It creates data.
Yeah.
Right. It creates data that needs to sit somewhere. Because, you may not need this. You may not think you need this every day. But guess what happens when there's a fire or when there's a structural issue or when they want to upgrade something, when they say, okay, we want to run what's over here? We want to build next to this. And they say, okay, well, we have this footage from 2023, right?
Yeah, they're really, really big projects like that. A lot of times they'll do that for budget status, to see where they're at with the construction phase, and a lot of this stuff's these videos are being shared across the other side of the world, because these construction conglomerates are interested in where they are with their bridge building,
Right, because someone's going to come along and count these girders and say, oh, look, okay, I can see that you've got the undercarriage, we've got this and we got that, right? This blows my fucking mind. This video is streaming backed up. It's streaming off of my relayer, off of the cloud. It goes away when you need it again. The link's there. You pull it up. This thing. This scale is massive. Like, look at all these boom lifts just sitting around in here. They're scattered like toys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, like look, there's some wind farms in the back. Like this is just incredible. And this is the low resolution free version, right?
And companies pay big money for this drone service, you
Right.
know, and so there's a great business model here for somebody, and it's very, very lucrative. And if they're able to provide the data in a way that makes it accessible and all that, there's a huge advantage for that company.
Exactly. And I mean, our friend Wesley's doing that, right?
Yeah.
He's already providing it. And then he ran into the bottleneck of 30 gigs a year. And that's just bonkers, right? Why? And I'm sure that why has no one solved this? Hey, guess what? Here's a business model. Build a 360 website. You be in charge of this. Buy that $400 software. Process people's videos. Post them online.
Yeah.
You know,
huge.
Charge them $100 a year. There you go. Charge them all. Charge them all. Anyways, that's my rant. That and him. All right. So, David, can you take us back to just the cameras? And I think we got one more topic here today.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's in the chat? Steve? Oh, I can't read that. What's it say? Sorry, what was the question? I can see it, but it's just tiny. I'm watching screen of a screen here. Oh, it is an image. Did I say a video? But I was talking about. I was in general.
It's a panoramic image, right? In this case.
Yes, I'm talking about video being a driver of data storage, right?
Yeah. And I guess in this case, this guy's doing panoramic images maybe for one reason or another, but there's a lot of other applications out there that are video that you know companies base all their information or base their whole business model based on a video. So
right. Nothing saying that there couldn't be videos of it flying up, but I guess my point was that video. We know how video works, right? Everybody's computer manages video. You upload it to the cloud and you can watch video streaming in your browser. That's built in. The way that 360 panoramas, they need a viewer. If you look at a 360 panorama that's not processed through a viewer, it just shows like a long, blurry, flat image, right? So something has to stitch them together and give you the ability to roll through.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't get that. You're losing a lot of that. So my point being, this is a whole business model unto itself, right?
Yep.
Make a website, offer stitching, offer hosting, charge them per. Basically they have a relayer. You give them a place to log in. You charge them for their uploads. You charge them for their storage. Mm-hmm. There's another business idea.
I wanted to also touch on a video that I uploaded this week.
That's what I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah. I wanted to just mention to the viewers that is an interesting. It's an interesting video because it was just like another one of the how-tos that I've done in the past, and I'm a little bit of a prepper, for certain things, and I'm preparing for data to come. Right. We're waiting for data, and I think and so I have my ASIC miners that I have. I've got 5 ASICs, but I'll also touch on an upcoming video where I'm preparing my storage providers. So I'll talk about the ASICs first. I did that video just to kind of show how I'm kind of preparing a circuit, because I was having a lot of trouble with having all my ASIC miners going into 120 amp service in a workshop, and I was blowing a circuit with my air compressor. And so I did a quick video on that. Folks can check that out. But also I've got something coming up also to prepare my storage devices, my EXA miners basically. And then I'm moving them off site because the location that I'm at right now, is a really low internet service. It's horrible where I live, and so I've got all my storage providers set up right now where they're functioning on this low bandwidth system. But what I need to do is I need to move it off to a higher speed internet service, and so that's going to be an upcoming video that we're going to be doing.
Because you have how many X's and how many DIYs?
I've got 3 examiners, and then I've got basically 4 DIYs. I purchased a license way back when, but when, like I said earlier, was that I got the free licenses when I bought the 3 examiners, and so I set up 3 DIYs. And so now I've got all these units now, and I need to move them off this location because this location just doesn't have an internet service. It's really, I don't think, good enough to be able to support it moving forward. So it's really slow. I don't have good upload and download speeds. So I'm moving it to a gigabit service, a location with gigabit service. So that's the plan there. And I'm going to show a video on how I'm moving that. And I think that's the message here, is that I'm preparing for data because data is coming.
Yeah, back to that. We are early, right? Every time when somebody uploads their drone footage or their backup video or their whatever they're going to upload, it goes to the network, and that's the flywheel, right? And if your nodes are slow, you're going to get some, but you're not going to get a lot because that relay is going to be pushing it, and that's part of this whole smart contracting. It's going to go where it fits, right? It's going to go where it can be accepted.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that. I've already moved one, and I'm going to move another one here real soon. And I'm going to do them kind of slow because I want to make sure I get the port forwarding set up properly on each one of them. And I just want to make sure I don't make any mistakes. And so I've been doing it a little bit slow, but it's coming along. It's coming along pretty well.
Yeah, I can't imagine the joy of being stuck behind port forwarding 6.
Yeah,
all at once, and something doesn't go. They're not working, and I'm
not plugging Xfinity at all, and I went into it. That's the service that I'm using, Xfinity 1.2 gigabit system is where I'm headed. That's overkill, and those of you in Discord have kind of told me that I've over provisioned, which is totally true. I don't need 1.2 right now, but it's just the way that the deal was. I got a deal on it, so. So yeah, I'm moving them to it, and each one of them has to be port forwarded. And when you do that, you actually have to do it off the app on your phone. So you log into your Xfinity account on your phone, and you do port forwarding right from your phone. Yeah. And as it turns out, it's way easier than I ever thought it would be. So
right, because it's basically just doing a router.
Yeah, it turned out easy. The hard part is just finding the IP address that assigns to your storage provider once you plug it in. That's the hardest part of it.
And that's not so hard.
So yeah, and that's not horrible. So what I'll do is I'll go through that in the video. I'm going to go through, how I set it up, how I used, I think I used Advanced Port Scanner, I think is the software that I use for that. So I can find the IP address for the storage provider right away. And then I just open up that storage provider, and I open up the thing on my phone, and I set the ports. And your first one's easy because it's 4282. 483, but then the other ones need to be different numbers, and so I got them all set up on different numbers.
Yeah, you got to get your brain around it. You got to get your scripts on your DIYs. Yeah. Are you running fulls on those or basics?
Fulls on everything now. I upgraded everything back when it was there were incentives to do that. I think I upgraded all of them for the EN deal back in October. Actually,
nice.
They're all humming along. Of course, my examiners have been humming along the best. And they all have, somewhere in the range of 500 or 600 gig on them, each one of them. I think that's pretty common for most of us. Yeah. Some of us have more than that because they got in earlier. But I tell you what, that's just a steady line on those examiners. It just continuously slow growth of data just constantly increases. There's never flat lines. Yeah, I'm always growing, so that's nice.
We're in that place where we talked about the helium explosion, not implosion, but explosion. Yeah. With growth, when everybody rushed out and wanted to go crazy and buy them all and stick them up everywhere, we've talked about this before. We're in this place where the Exa network, XNS cloud is being built. And so, right, this is slow, steady tick up to the right. It's not the hockey stick. It's not, this is the early phase. And the company is selling Exa miners. You can buy one. We're not going crazy to push it because we're trying to load data at the same time. And right, it feels like my observation, gut instinct tells me that we're at a pretty level. The water is very level. Like, water has a way of finding all the holes to fill in. So if somebody stands up a new one, they're gonna get a little more data. They're a fresher one. I don't know what it's like today to start up a new one. I've got 4 under my management. I like to say, I got a couple of DIYs and a couple of X's, and yeah, they're in different locations and they're different amounts, but yeah, they sit in a pretty level place. Mike, your videos are really great because I really like the amount of preparation you do. Your productions are really fun. I like the Sharpie math. That was but like I volts and amps always confuse the hell out of me, and I'm glad I'm not rewiring my panel board for a bunch of ASICs, but people are, right? Somebody is. And
that's not difficult. And you could do that a few different ways. You don't have to go 120 volts. You can go 220 and just get different cords, and you can get what do they call them? It's the strip. I'm losing my mind right now, but there's a very specific power strips that people use for miners, and I chose not to do that. I chose to do more of just a standard set of receptacles that go right to a breaker. I didn't do surge protection on it. I probably will do surge protection. It's another $100 investment maybe to do that. Probably not totally necessary to have that set up, but that will protect the devices maybe better than if I didn't have it. So
you mean like the surge interrupting outlet?
You can have a surge protection breaker, an actual breaker that you use. You pull out the breaker and put a surge protection breaker in there, and it'll protect that circuit. Or you can get a whole panel surge protection, which is like another device that goes and connects to it and connects into the main panel circuit. So you could do it a couple different ways. I've not decided how I want to do that yet, so stay tuned on that one.
I mean, it's all learning, right? That's the fun thing about this.
Definitely. I really enjoy it.
Right. This is the fuck around part of the finding out, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm excited to, like, I'm going to mess with this webcam this week. I'm going to get that zone minder or whatever it was. I already closed the tab, never find it again. I'll have to watch the video to remember what software it was. But I'm going to put a camera up. I'm going to try to figure out how to share it. I'm going to see, like we were talking, David was saying the usefulness of monitoring your own devices, monitoring your miners, right? Putting a camera in the basement. So when you're away, monitoring your German Shepherd so you can see her chewing through the couch. We got to get a live camera of the river by Zach's house so we can know what nonsense these guys are up to now. Yeah. There's some videos. So it seems like David went over to Flux's house and all the Pacific Northwest guys had some beers last night. There's some videos of shooting fish with a 50 cal handgun. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. David can't hear us because his ears are still ringing. Is my assumption. But that's a point being. Getting a video camera, getting it on a node, getting it, back it up if you want to. You can share it if you need to. This is building our own networks. Anybody else in the comment box? What's that? What are those? It's too small. I'm reading it streamed back in Ninja here. David, do you got anything else to share us in that comments before we maybe wrap this up for the day? I told you it's gone deaf.
Yeah, my ears are still ringing a little bit. It's just Gord. Gord just saying a few things here and there. Swiss
Did I
chard
take
is
my
back.
lines?
That's good news for all parties involved. I don't know what that was referring to. Jeff has a wonderful looking patio. It is pretty wonderful back there. Looks like a nice day too.
Yeah, it's kind of hazy. It's hot. It's humid. It's 85. New York in the summer can be pretty sweltery, but that's
Yeah.
okay. So don't forget about this stupid game, Jeff's stupid game. 217 gets you the high score right now if you care. Otherwise, it'll end and it'll start again, and you'll have to hear me talk about it some more. That's how it works.
Well, next week maybe you'll have Steve online. Maybe you can pull him off the job site to get back to your funkles.
Steve's suffering from a bad case of workaholism.
Yeah, he's busy. So stay tuned for next week's episode, folks. Maybe you can give an update on your book and on the flywheel effect. And I'm
going to sit down this weekend. July 4th was a bad
it was
time to focus.
busy for everybody. Sure.
Yeah, a good time to not focus.
Yep.
I'm going to get some video. I'm going to get some streaming backup security camera. I'll put it right in my bathroom so you guys can just have it,
Nice.
toilet cam. And then otherwise, I think it's time to go out onto the day. I don't know what else there is.
I think
Ken
I think that's a wrap.
Ken's back from Vegas, and then we will resume. So follow, comment, like. If you have any questions or you want us to try anything or talk about anything, come into that Discord. The link's going to be below. Come in. We're around often. If you want to leave a comment here, we can talk about it next week in the video. If you want to, subscribe. Yep. That's it, right?
All right,
Mike. Thank you, David. Bye, blue-faced Shardy B. And I guess that's it. Everybody have yourself a nice Saturday.
All right. Have a good one. See you guys.